Hello everyone and welcome to episode 5 of Rating Chess Openings, and today we're going to be taking a look at the esteemed Queen's Gambit. This comes after we start pawn up to d4, taking center space and opening up our bishop for development. Black mirrors us, they go pawn to d5, which is the most common move, and here we can now play c4. First off, c4 is already a good move here because we are putting pressure on their center. We open up all these squares for our queen, which are very useful, and our knight can go behind the c-pawn, which is really where it wants to go. But what is most important in this position is what black decides to do. A lot of people, especially at beginner level, are going to accept the gambit, and this is one of the few gambits where accepting it is actually not a great move. It's not terrible, but here you can play a move e4, and white already wins like 60% of games here. You have a massive center, you're taking so much space. Black's pawn c4 is extremely weak. There's really no way they're going to be able to defend that, and black has nothing developed. They have nothing over here. Something as simple as trying to hang on to the pawn, if like a move like b5 here, we can already play a4, undermining their center, and black must play with extreme precision to not let us have a large advantage this early into the game. If they play something else like e6, we can simply capture. We won the pawn back, we have a big center, development is easy, and the rest of the game is looking great for us. And their best move here is e5, which is very rare, immediately counterattacking us in the center. And this is likely the sharpest line. You have to know knight to f3 here. And while it is both sharp for you, it is also for black. They have to be very careful here not to slip into any bad blunders. And even here, you do maintain a small advantage with perfect play. So that also very much favors you. But also here, you have options. You can play other moves. You can just develop your knights first if you would like. That's a very valid option. The engine's best here is e3, just like doing like this and being a little more solid. And the good thing here is that all of these options, while not my favorite, might be your favorite. They're all completely valid and sound, and if you want to play them, they are also very good. So accepting the pawn is generally not recommended. What else can they try? A lot of people, especially beginner level, play a move knight to f6. This is the martial defense, and here this is very common, but it's also just bad because you can just capture, and if they take back the knight, simply e4, and you just once again just have a massive center. Knight backs up, simply knight c3. And yeah, you just have a big center, easy development, easy game ahead of you, and already you're doing well. And if they try to take back for the queen, then still now knight c3. Attacking the queen with tempo, you're going to get the same center, and once again, you just have a great game ahead of you, so that is also going to be very good. The most legitimate lines here are going to be either e6 or c6. I'll look at this first. This is the Queen's Gambit declined, and once again here, you have many valid ways to play. If you simply want to develop both of your knights, like knight to f6, simply knight to f3, and then just have a very simple setup of going like e3, moving your bishop out, and then simply castling. I mean, go for it. This is another good option, and once again, you have many plans you can choose from. You can try to launch your knight in the center and supportive f4. You can play a move like b3 here, like back here, b3, put the bishop on b2. This is also a good option, and my personal favorite is all the way back here. After you develop the first knight on c3, you can actually trade in the center, and this is the exchange variation. Most exchange variations are very boring, but this one is not. You can put the bishop on g5 to immediately pin them, and from here your plan is super simple. You're simply going to go e3, quickly put your bishop out, then your knight on e2, and after like this, you're going to castle, and your plan here is to put the queen c2, and you're going to go f3 and push e4 in the center. And that central pawn break is going to give you a ton of space, while black is kind of lagging behind in development. Their pieces are pretty cramped back here, and so here you once again have a very good game ahead of you. Let's also look at the Slav defense, which is c6 instead of e6 here. And once again, the beauty of this opening, if you want to play in the exact same way, simply go like knight to f3 here, and simply go like e3, bishop d3, and castles. That is entirely fine. There's nothing wrong with that, but if you want to play more aggressive options, like my personal favorite back here, you can play e4. and this would be the Martial Gambit. So many people have no idea how to respond to this, and it is just insanely fun and really just insane gambit overall. And having both options from crazy aggressive lines like this to more calm and low-key variations is what we really need. And also one more for you because I just love them. Here you can play very fun G4. This is the Shabalaba attack, and all of these like kind of weird little sidelines, there's so many of them, and a lot of them are good. The very best black can get in this insane line is equality. And for the amount of fun you're going to have with G4 and potentially G5, I think it is definitely worth it. My only real con that I have to the Queen's Gambit is that even though there's not a ton of great lines, there are a lot of lines. And while most of them you are able to play in about the same way, a lot of them you sadly can't. Like here, after like Knight C3, black can play a move Bishop B4, and more than likely this is going to transpose into the Nimzo Indian. And while that is fine if you know how to play that, you might not, and if you don't, well, you're kind of just screwed. And there's a lot of variations like this. There's other ones like here, like C5, the Tarrasch defense. Which pawn do you capture? If you don't know beforehand, that might be quite the difficult decision. Overall though, this is still very strong, and with that, let's get on to the tier list. Alright, so overall, the Queen's Gambit does have a lot of lines where if you don't know about them, you might get into some trouble. But if you know what you're doing in those sidelines and in all of the main lines, you're going to have a very easy plan ahead of you and a small advantage. And this opening pretty much always promises fun and aggressive positions, which is what I really look for in an opening. And it is also completely sound, and practically it just works wonders. The win rate is insane on this opening. And just because of its legendary status as well, I really think of nowhere else this can go except for up into the S tier. I'm not surprised, I'm not sure if you are, but thank you for watching, hope you have a great day, subscribe and like for more, and I will see you next time.